know the jobless rate's stuck at 9.6%? But did you know this? It might be your fault. White House economic advisor Diana Farrell saying, in the job market, quote, we have a mismatch, and it is a skills issue and education issue. So is it because we don't have the skills or the smarts, or because White House policies aren't smart enough? Hi, everyone. I'm Brenda Butner. This is Bulls and Bears. Let's get right to it. The Bulls and Bears this week: Gary B. Smith, Jonas Max Ferris, John Bradshaw Layfield, along with the real star of Wall Street, too, Tom Belesis, also known as the CEO of John Thomas Financial, and Caroline Heldman, Associate Professor of Politics at Occidental College. Welcome to everybody. Okay, Gary B., gosh, I always knew it was your fault.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is just, you know, this administration, I give them credit. They are masters of the spin, putting the blame back on the public. The fact of the matter is, let's just say everyone was super educated. The only area of the economy that is even anywhere near full employment is those top managerial executive positions. Every other position below that is reeking of unemployment. In fact, it was Obama himself that said one of the main emphasis of the stimulus spending was on shovel-ready projects. We all know that phrase. And yet I looked at the construction industry. Unemployment there is at 17%. Unemployment amongst African Americans is 16%. Total. Teenagers, 20%. Clearly, this is not our problem. If the problem is if government would get out of the way, stop the spin, stop spending our money, stop putting us into further deficit, maybe this economy would have a chance of healing.
Just to be fair, really the concept was that perhaps we're not skilled enough to do things like put in solar panels or all the rest.
Well, the fastest growing sectors right now are information technology, education, and healthcare, all of which require training. And because of the housing plummet, we do have jobs like construction or industries like construction where job opportunities have been lost. And what she's dealing with, Ms. Farrell, is the simple fact that we have 6 million unemployed Americans and we have 3 million job openings. That's an unprecedented amount for given the high unemployment rate. So she's dealing with facts and saying that, look, we need to retrain and get people into different sectors, because the sectors that people used to be employed in, that's no longer a possibility. So I think it's a positive thing. And, you know, I would very much disagree that the government should step out of it, because they have saved or preserved 2.8 million jobs as a result of the economic stimulus.
Okay, I know in my economics textbook I don't really know about save and preserve, but I do know the unemployment rate, and it's not budging, JPL. Is that because we're dumb?
I think that's what the administration would like you to think, that our answer is more government. It's not. Look, when the manufacturing sector stopped being so important, those jobs went immediately into the housing sector, which was furnished by a bubble. Once that bubble stops, because of the glutton inventory, those jobs are not coming back for years. If they come back then, that is what we're dealing with these unemployed people. And you can retrain them all you want. They are not going to be programmers at Google. It is simply not going to happen. We have no energy plan in place. You want to create millions of jobs? Stop this anti-business administration from stopping solar farms, wind farms, and nuclear from being built. Allow drilling. You will create millions of jobs for these people, and stop sending hundreds of billions overseas. Until we do that, unemployment is going to continue to creep up.
Caroline, let me get you get a quick word in before I get to somebody else.
Well, I would respond that I don't know why a construction worker couldn't be retrained to be a programmer at Google if she wanted to, with proper education. That is the point.
Google doesn't need 6 million programmers. I'm sorry to tell you that. They don't.
Well, I don't know what that, of course they don't need to. Nobody is claiming that. But what we do need is to move people into sectors where there are job opportunities and they require training. And I don't believe that insulting construction workers and saying that they can't move into those sectors is something that you want to do.
But I have a question. Is there really unfilled jobs out there? I mean, there have been people
3 million. 3 million unfilled jobs. Now, granted, part of them are part-time.
Yes. And
part of them are part-time, and we also have an issue with housing mobility, right, that people can't take advantage of them because of the housing crisis. So if you're renting, you're actually better able to move to find job opportunities. So it's complicated, but there are 3 million job openings right now.
Tom, you buy that?
Not at all. I mean, Brenda, let's look at it like this. I mean, this administration is so lost in the wilderness now, without a compass, you know, worse than when they first got into this administration. I mean, there's thousands of college graduates right now that can't find jobs. Why? Because of the mismanagement of the stimulus. I mean, we have a situation right now that's unprecedented. It can get even worse if they want to issue another stimulus to go to government workers. I mean, that's not how you rebuild the American economy. Nonetheless, get more people hired from, you know, new employers. It's not going to happen.
Well, actually, Jonas, that's a great point of Tom's, because there's college graduates, there's PhDs who are taking, you know, that are filling some part-time jobs and can't find what they were trained in.
That point was fairly good. The other guess, I have to say, points seem to be for the skill mismatch. I kept hearing points that I would think the White House would be making, which is there's all these unemployed people in fields like construction, and there's good employment in certain middle management jobs. There are people that have skills that are not needed in this new economy. That's the bottom line. And JBL was right. We're not going to need that many construction people. Someone has to train these people to get other work, or they're going to be working at Walmart, where there are jobs. And there are a lot of jobs in this economy. Maybe not the ones that people want out of certain degrees and certain school programs. I don't know what role the government's going to play in that, or if they'll do a good job, or if the private sector is going to do a better job. But the bottom line is there are jobs, but there are people that don't have the training for those jobs. And we're bringing jobs in from other countries and outsourcing high-end jobs for those skill sets, like in tech.
And Gary B., is that the answer right now to the millions who are unemployed and can't find work?
No, I mean, look, retraining people, first of all, the great majority of those millions of people either don't want to be retrained or unable to be relocated, housing crisis or not. They're just not going to move from Flint, Michigan, or wherever they are. I totally disagree with what the Caroline's points and Jonas's points. He's saying, oh, those construction jobs will never come back. It was President Obama himself who said many times the nation's infrastructure is falling apart. We've already talked about the fact that our national energy grid is falling apart. There are millions of construction jobs out there. And as I hate to repeat a point, but it was he himself who said about all these shovel-ready projects. There's plenty of projects out there. Drive down the highway and you tell me where there can't be, my gosh, this road is perfect. This should never be fixed. Bridges, tunnels, et cetera, et cetera. But the government is mucking things up with their huge amount of red tape, their huge restrictions. There's construction jobs out there. You just got to let the free market
How's the free market going to build those roads and put those people to work?
Hold on, I'm sorry.
The whole United Kingdom railway system.
Please. Sorry. We're going to get into stimulus in the next block. So let's stick right now to how smart we are and the education that it might take to take one person in one job to across the country to another one in another job. Tom?
Listen, Brenda, I think it's more than that. And let me start with this administration. For them to tell our people that they're incompetent and that's why the jobless numbers are higher than they should be is very disheartening. I mean, this administration will not take blame for the incompetencies of what they have done. That's the bottom line, in my opinion. It has nothing to do with the other part, but that's what I believe. And again, at the end of the day, if they don't start shaping up, you know, they're going to have big change come mid-November.
Okay, that's got to be the bottom line. And at the bottom of the hour.